Hello, and this is The Harboring Light. I'm Mary. I give a conservative perspective about the world around me. As I do in the beginning of each episode of my podcast, I mention social media and audio platforms. And to add on, I have writings on Substack. I will have that link in here in this episode. And I write on Substack as a supplement for my podcast. And also give me a rating. It would be greatly appreciated. I appreciate all you listeners out there. Thank you so much. Now, audio platforms, I'm on Spotify for podcasters. I'm on Audible. I'm on Amazon Music. I'm on iHeartRadio. I am on Pocket Cast, Overcast, Pandora, and I'm looking to go wherever you enjoy your podcast. I'm on that. So this episode is about Figgy Pudding, its origins, and my thoughts on it. All right, so let's get into it. So my thoughts about the Figgy Pudding, I think it's really interesting. Taking things from other countries and blending it together and getting those roots into, let's say America, and putting your own interpretations of it. And I think it's very interesting to dig deep within of why things are a tradition and then how other countries celebrate the holidays, specifically their thoughts about the meaning of the holiday, which is the Christ and the story of Christ, and then bringing those ideas of the story of the religion, of course, and showing the appreciation with food. So, let's talk about it. Figgy pudding. So, what is Figgy Pudding? If you're familiar with the Figgy Pudding Christmas Carol, We Wish You a Merry Christmas, you might have asked yourself at some point, what is it anyway? And three of these names refer to traditional English steamed cake like dessert composed of breadcrumbs, flour, suet, sugar, eggs, brandy, lemon zest, candy, citrus peels, spices, and dried fruits. Specifically raisins, currants, and golden raisins. With respect to the different names, the short answer is that Figgy Pudding can be considered a much earlier precursor of plum pudding, and they both come to be referred as Christmas pudding. Figgy pudding dates back to the 14th century and was a much different dish than what we refer to as figgy pudding today. It was more of a wet, sticky, thick porridge consisting of boiled figs, water, wine, ground almonds, raisin, and honey. It later evolved into incorporating ground meat and grains, and then later still evolved into a steamed pudding that was made with raisins. Where does the term plum pudding come from? Plums were what the pre-Victorians called raisins and dried fruits in general, and the name stuck. It wasn't until 1845 when it first came to be called Christmas pudding, and Eliza Acton's best-selling cookbook, Modern Cookery for Private Families. And so we have three names that are still used in different regions of English-speaking worlds. In the U.S., it's more commonly called figgy pudding, whereas in the U.K. and Ireland, it is more commonly known as Christmas pudding or simply pud, or plum pudding. As with many traditional Christmas desserts, plum pudding incorporates symbolisms reflecting of Christ, such as the holy, representing the crown of thorns, and setting the pudding on fire, representing the passion of Christ. So how long does figgy pudding take to make? According to Dishably, the source that I am reading from, a traditional figgy pudding takes 2 days to make. The first day is when all the ingredients are mixed well, covered, refrigerated, and left overnight. On the next day, you grease a basin, a stainless steel pan with no handle. Put the dough in it and cover the dough with wax paper. The basin is then sat in a large pan of water to steam for 8 hours. When the pudding is cool, it is wrapped in wax paper, put into a pastry bag, and stored till Christmas Day. Prior to serving, the pudding is warmed up by the steaming method for 2 hours. To serve warm, you serve it warm with brandy, which is then poured over the pudding and lit. So, Stir Up Sunday, an age-old custom. The Sunday before Advent was called Stir Up Sunday, which came from the old custom in England and is still commonly referred to by that name in the United Kingdom. The tradition and lore attached to the pudding are very interesting. The traditional time to make the pudding was 4 to 5 weeks before Christmas or the last day before Advent. A good luck charm for the coming new year. It was a common lore to include something in the pudding for good luck. Silver coins for wealth, and the following year, a silver thimble for thriftiness, or a wishbone for good luck, were just a few of the items that might be put inside the pudding. The lucky person who received the item in the serving was envied by all. So, to end on this note, talking about Christmas pudding, customs, and symbols. In addition to what I was saying earlier about the symbolic Christian themes, many customs became associated with the pudding in these early days, some of which remain to this day. Several of these customs are steeped in symbolism. When the pudding was being made, a common custom was to have each member of the household give a stir and make a wish. It was believed that it should contain 13 ingredients to be symbolic of Jesus and the disciples. Another custom was that the stirring would be done with a wooden spoon from east to west to remember the 3 wise men. The holy spring stuck on top of the pudding represented the crown of thorns that Jesus wore when he was crucified. The holly also was for good luck and healing for the coming year. The brandy that was poured over the pudding and set alight represented the love and power of Jesus. So this reaches the end of the Harboring Light. Tune in, turn up, and have a happy holiday and a very, very, very Merry Christmas to you and yours. Take care.